Grand Dame, Granny Banani, the Queen, Boss, Boss Lady, beautiful, sexy. Because when you're a gorilla and you're again 59 years old, you are beautiful and you are sexy. And she is both.
Colo is feisty. For 58 years old, almost 59, Colo is very feisty. She has lots of opinions about everything that we do.
Colo is very quiet and reserved at most times, but then she will come out of nowhere with just this spitfire attitude, and she still likes to boss the gorillas around as well as us keepers around.
Colo is certainly in charge. She is the boss, she's the boss lady, she's the queen bee. She is the one who tells us what we're doing, and if you're doing it wrong, she'll let you know. She likes to supervise.
She knows she's a queen, and she, you know, whatever Colo wants, she pretty much gets.
But Colo was a spitfire, I can tell you that right now. Colo was a gorilla that she might just sit back there and look at you like a sweet little thing, and she'd say, oh buddy, I'd rather meet King Kong in the jungle than Colo.
Yeah, we do call Colo the boss. All the gorillas like to watch what we're doing as we work in the building and around them. Colo, definitely, we like to say that she supervises us, so she'll watch us, and if you're doing something she likes, like bringing out food or something fun, or even just if you're going by and she's happy to see you, she'll make a happy or content gorilla vocalization. And if you're doing something she doesn't like, which could have nothing to do with her, it could just be moving a door or doing anything near her that she doesn't like, she might make a disciplined gorilla vocalization at you. So Colo definitely voices her opinions to us as we're doing our work around her and with the other gorillas throughout the day.
Granny is probably what I call her the most. We used to have a keeper, used to work here, we called her boss or boss lady. Sometimes that still comes out. See, sometimes I'm walking by and I'll be like, hey, boss lady, how's it going? Usually when I do an interview, I do usually say she is the Grand Dame of the gorilla building, because she is. There's Queen. We have another keeper who likes to call her Granny Banana just because that's fun. A lot of times I call her Sexy Lady because she's all puffed up and ready to run and wants to display with me and run back and forth. And so usually Sexy Lady comes out.
So Colo and I have a funny relationship with my hair. So I tend to, especially in the summertime, wear my hair in a big bun on top of my head just to get it up off my neck, and it flops around a lot because I have a lot of hair. So if I'm bebopping around the building or laughing or talking with the other keepers, she likes to cough at me if my hair is bouncing around too much. So we kind of joke that she likes to dictate my hairstyle on any given day, whether or not it's being offensive to her because it's bouncing around too much or not.
Colo is the queen bee. She likes to be in charge. She likes her drinks a certain way, she likes her food a certain way. The same food she liked the day before, she may not like this day. We a lot of times have to change up her food for her. Sometimes you gotta mash it, sometimes you gotta cook it. Sometimes she wants a different kind of biscuit.
Just now I was walking through and she gets lettuce, she gets different kinds of greens every day. But I walked through with somebody else's greens, with Mac's group's greens, and she had to look in the bucket to see what was there, and she's like, oh, I get that, but you know what, it's coming from Mac's. It's coming from Mac's bucket, so I want Mac's food instead. So, oh yeah, I gave it to her. Yeah, like I said, if Colo wants it, she pretty much gets it.
I was very fortunate when I first started working here to be able to tour Warren Thomas through the building. Warren Thomas is, of course, the man responsible for Colo's birth. He was working at the zoo when we had our first two gorillas, Baron Macumbo and Millie Christina. And Warren kind of broke the rules. And he noticed that the same time every month, Millie Christina would back up to the mesh to Baron Macumbo and decided, I think she's ovulating, and he would sneak them together at night and come in early in the morning and separate them. Then he stopped seeing those signs and he realized, oh no, I think she's pregnant, I better fess up what I've done, and went and told the director. And the last time he ever visited the Columbus Zoo, I was here and I got to show him around the back area. And it was amazing because, you know, at that point in time, Colo, she's a very strong female, and she really had a good relationship with her keepers, but she was pretty independent. She wasn't one who came over, wanted a lot of attention. She didn't want to play a lot with the keeper staff. And when this man that she hadn't seen in 20 years walked in the building, it was like she reverted back to being a little child, a little gorilla again. She ran across the room, she made all sorts of happy grumbles, she started blowing him kisses, and she was reaching out gently and just stroking his arm.
So when Colo was a baby, she was given clothes and had hats put on her, silly hats and things like that. And over the years, she retained that love of hats. And I used to wear ball caps, so she'd always point at my ball cap like, hey, give me that cap. I like that hat, so give it to me. And we were able to use it as a training tool to me being able to trim her fingernails. Being arthritic as she is, her hands tend to kind of curl over, and she has a couple of her fingers she can't pull away from her palm due to arthritis. So it's one of the things that we have to kind of take care of for her, because she can't naturally just kind of scrape down her fingernails on the concrete or chew on them like you would normally be able to trim your nails. She does a little bit of complaining while I do it because it's Colo, she's the boss. But for the most part, she likes her little manicures that I give to her. And
my favorite memory about Colo is probably when I was a seasonal. Of course, she loves all the keepers, but back then she's pretty picky about the seasonal staff and whether or not she likes you. And I was one of the lucky ones that she liked. And I remember it was the day of my interview to be a full-time keeper. And I had worked in the morning, had gotten ready, it was time for my interview. I'm gonna go, and I walked by her. And she came over and greeted me. She ran over and she started talking to me in her Colo grumble. She gave me a piece of her hay. Like, she went through the hay, her bedding, and she put it through the mesh so that it dropped through. So I picked it up and I brought it to the interview, put it in my pocket, and it was kind of my good luck charm.
So we've made over the years, especially recently, we've focused on making enrichment specifically for Colo because she does live by herself, not in with other gorillas right now. So there was one enrichment that an intern came up with, which was really good, called the ColoCopter, and it's this piece of PVC that you can spin around to get treats out of. And she's always enjoyed this. One day we put it in for her, and I saw her spinning that thing around for 3 straight hours, and I just knew that she was way more into it than she usually is. And eventually she got the whole thing taken apart and had all the PVC apart and took the bolt out of it and was playing with all the pieces. And then I learned that just the week before she had taken the whole thing apart and got that piece out of there. So she was excited about getting that and knew that she could spin that thing and get it all apart so she could get the pieces again that she liked to play with. So she's very intelligent and ingenuitive and just very entertaining and funny to be around and to work with.
Did she put it back together, make it back?
She did not put it back together. She did trade us all the parts. So we had to show her good treats, and she had multiple parts, and we had to give her lots of yogurt and raisins to get all the parts back that we needed to put it back together. So.
I think Colo is a prime example of how far the zookeeping world has come in general, and animal care and things like that. And she's a very good example of that amazing human care that we're able to give to these animals. But she's also taught us so much. I think that, to me, is her biggest legacy, is that she's been such a teacher to us people and us as keepers. It's just such an honor to get to work with her and know that I've got to work with the first born gorilla ever in a zoological situation, as well as the oldest one currently.
Colo herself is teaching us how long a gorilla really could live with appropriate care, and what are the challenges we're going to face as a gorilla gets older in terms of, can they handle social group dynamics? Do they need to live by themselves? Do they need special diets? Do we have to create specific exhibits designed for their ability to move around?
Colo also, because she's been around for so long and gorillas learn from each other, what she's learned in her experience has been passed down to the next gorillas that have been around, and it is a trickle-down effect. So the experience and the years that she's been here, the confidence that she has, and the way that she's learned to interact with the keepers and that we've learned to interact with her has been passed down to other gorillas and has allowed us to have a really good situation where the keeper staff has a good relationship with the gorillas, and the gorillas have good relationships with each other.
When you see her the first time, for me it was like, that's amazing. I'm looking at something first in the world. It's the only time I've ever in my life ever seen something that was first in the world. Think about it. What do you see that's first in the world? Oh, I knew John Glenn. He was the first man that went around the world, so I did do that. Other than that, I never seen anything that was first in the world. And everybody around the zoo ought to be very proud that we have the first in the world. It just shows you what the staff here has done to keep Colo how she is today. And we thank the staff here just as much as Colo.
A lot of people relate to the fact that they saw her on Time magazine. A lot of people relate to the fact that they were kids when they came to see her when she was first born. Because of that, people found her to be famous, and she's definitely helped build the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. She's helped build our gorilla program. She's helped build the legacy that comes from our surrogacy program here at the zoo, which she was part of because we learned how to take care of gorillas starting with her.
You know, you get the chance to work with gorillas, and to work with Colo is just awesome. And, you know, because of her, we have learned so much, and we have her to thank. The institutions have Colo to thank.
Lead and inspire by connecting people and wildlife. Colo has done that for 59 years. The first gorilla ever born in a zoo, the oldest gorilla in the world. So what does that mean? Well, for me, it means that we're inspiring millions of people. When we talk about Colo, she's an ambassador, the #1 ambassador for the Columbus Zoo, and really globally. It's about gorillas, it's about giving back to conservation, it's about education, and especially for me, it's about inspiring people to care.